Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, it's Sweeb. We are on Genshin again for a second video, and this time, as I said last time, I wanted to do some kind of Nuzlocke challenge or hardcore, whatever you want to call it. Basically the rule is simple, it's just that I can use all my units, but once they die, I cannot use them, same for their weapon and artifacts. I cannot change them once the character is dead. And so the objective will be to kill all bosses that are present on the map, as well as weekly bosses, so Devalin, Raiden, those kind of boss. And we'll see how we do. Hopefully we do it pretty easily, but to spice this up, we'll also have the wheel. Each bosses, I will rotate the wheel and make a random team. I'll allow myself one to be able to have some kind of joker where I can choose my own team. I'll see, because I really don't know if it's possible. Like, if sometime I get a really bad team, I don't know if some bosses are possible without certain elements. So, but we'll see about that. Okay, already we have our first team for the Enable Apostasis, and it will be like that for all bosses. We'll just slowly start going from north to south. We'll end the final boss. We should face this golden wolf road. Everything else will be done pretty much in the order from north to south. So right after we should have Devalin. And now the Nuzlocke has officially started, so the first few boss I'll probably go fast forward with it, because the Mondstadt boss are honestly a joke, I feel like. You'll see we deal with the animal specialties pretty quickly, same for Devalin, was kinda easy with Yutao. The Cryo Flower, or whatever you call it, is... I almost killed my Kudlusara, but didn't manage to do enough, and for the dog we managed to do quickly with Bennett and Sinkyu, so I kinda was unlucky, so here's the reason, an example why I decided that taking a wheel will be a good example, that we can sometimes end up with a team with only one unit that can DPS or stuff like that. And the dog is the first example of that, with Sinkyu and Bennett only being able to do the real damage, while the two other units are kinda useless, not gonna lie. I went for the Oceanid, and as I said, I'm doing it from from north to south, so Oceanid is first, so before finishing all the Mondstadt boss. But Oceanid was kinda annoying, I'm not gonna lie, but the main thing annoying thing was that I forgot to put Caitlyn gears before doing the fight, so I had an ungeared Caitlyn in it, and I almost died because of that, but we still managed somehow to win. It was kinda hard because there was those birds that was flying on with no bow or mage. It was kinda hard, but thanks my ult my burst were able to reach them, so I could kill them. Went to finish the Electro Hypostasis on the Cryo one. It's kinda easy, as I said, the Mondstadt boss were kind of a joke, and so now we're really going to start the Liyue boss. Right away after starting the boss from Liyue, if we don't count the Osaid, we have the Liyue shop, and honestly, I wasn't expecting this fight to be hard, but what I didn't expect is that my team wouldn't comprehend any healer or shield. So, which made the fight a ton more harder and made me actually lose the first two units, with Klee dying right away at the start, which, well, kinda was my fault, and Ayaka dying after a while, because of the non-healing, but thankfully, I got carried by Sucrose Elemental Matery and Kaya small damage, but yeah. And just like that, Klee and Ayaka got removed from the wheel and are now unable to be used, as well as the artifacts they had on them. But now with your character gone, we are going right away for the PO Release Vine, and honestly, it's starting to feel like the teams I'm getting are getting way weirder with time, and you can see Doel, Zhongli, Sarah, Sucrose, no DPS. Thanks God my Zhongli burst has some damage with it, and that Elemental Mastery and Sucrose do a lot of damage, because honestly this fight could have went really long and could have went really bad. But with Noel and Zhongli I was almost guaranteed to lose nobody. Double shield into heal But then, when it comes to the next boss, something kinda unexpected happened with a really improbable team, not gonna lie. Like, Keia, Sarah, Sucrose, Bennett. Honestly, I didn't feel confident in this boss. Like, killing the Geo Hypostasis pillar with those kind of unit was kinda hard. I would have needed at least one Geo unit or at least one Great Sword, and here I got none of that. I got mage, a bow, and two single-handed sword. Honestly, that boss didn't really go that well. And something I didn't mention before is that obviously I'm not allowed to leave the boss arena. So, for example, in the Geo Hypostasis arena, it's the whole circle around it. And so right here, what I decided is that even though losing Bennett on Sucrose was kinda sad, I mean Keia kinda saved me with Sucrose and the Geo V-Cap, so that's kinda sad, but I decided to kill my team because I noticed that just destroying one pillar was going to take forever, and that dodging some of his attack, for example killing the shield to make it proc, stuff like that, was kinda hard. I know I could have dodged it simply by going on the other side of the arena, but yeah, I decided just to die, and yeah, because like there was no way I would have killed this boss with this amount, and even if I managed to get him to low HP, he would have just went into his groggy form, and I would have had to kill all three pillars to kill him, and this would have taken 4 ages. Honestly, so I decided that it was just better of dying, honestly. Now with already 6 characters of my list being dead, to give it a go at the Geo Hypostasis, and this time we got Zhongli, so even if the team wasn't that great, honestly, Caitlyn and Venti was really bad. Venti was basically doing nothing, Caitlyn was doing some cheap damage, Caitlyn was just there in case of healing, but yeah, Zhongli basically did all of it, and I just fast forwarded because yeah, it would just be you watching Zhongli hit a pillar for 10 minutes. And so after this Geo Hypostasis fight, I decided to take a break, so I did everything else another day. So, and then I noticed that I didn't do Asda the first day, so I did it right after I did the Ruined Serpent. But yeah, so I did the Ruined Serpent first at least. And let's just say that it was quite an original team, with first time we see Amber, and also first time we see Aether as well in the team. And honestly, it was quite an interesting fight. Honestly, I was kinda surprised that it was the first time we've seen some of these characters, and there's still some characters that haven't been on the wheel yet. Like I think Fischl and Barbara haven't been in it yet. But anyway, we finished the Ruined Serpent quite easily, with no one dying, thankfully. Venti almost died at one point because I let the boss do his big attack on the whole arena, but yeah, he survives because he had enough HP, so it was fine. Then afterward, as I said, I went for Asda, and it was kind of a cakewalk, honestly. All he did was transform into his Iso and Cryo form, and I had Zhongli with Utao in the team, so it was very easy. I finished Asda very quickly, it was very easy. And then to finish the UA boss, we just quickly went on Bully, as usual, Child. Really easy boss, we all know him. Just have to... He's honestly not a danger in this. I feel like the only attack you have to dodge is this well. And with that, we're starting off with the first Inazumas. First, most probably the easiest one of the other one. Even if my team was mostly, as usual, just Zhongli DPS because my Caitlyn sucks. But yeah, this boss doesn't have any healing, they can't get through Zhongli and Noel shield, so it was really easy, and we had Diot Dion after. And then probably the scariest boss in my opinion, the one I feel like I could have lost the most unit against. So I decided to use my Joker on that one, against Raiden. So I just put a team with 4 elements, because I've only fought this boss once before, in my other video, and I completely discovered it and didn't know what to do. And so I decided, because I didn't know what to do, that it was better to just put 4 units of different elements. In case I didn't know how a one-shot attack didn't work. I feel... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's only Electro, right? That you need to put, because I don't know I've added 3 times now, but every time it was Electro that I needed to do to break the shield, so I could not die from the one-shot skill. Let me know if it's really that. I don't know. But yeah, so I was able to deal with the boss really easily because I was able to make my own team. Honestly, if the team would have been like something like Noel, Zhongli, or those kind of things, it would have probably been worse. And if I didn't have an electro unit this time, maybe I would have lost completely. Because if you really need electro only to use the shield, I would have lost probably everyone. So I didn't want to lose all my units, especially when I know what boss will come after. And for the next boss, since I didn't have a Joker anymore, I was kinda scared because just like the GOV Apostasis, I feel that the pure Apostasis would have been really hard to deal with without Hydro or stuff like that, because I only have 2 Hydro characters in my list, so I was really unlikely to get them, and I didn't get them as you can see. And I ended up with Caitlyn, which the Caitlyn is really bad as you've seen before, and 2 fire units which can't break the shield of the Hyper Apostasis, so I only had Chongyun who could really help me for that, and thank God he was here, I feel like, because Caitlyn actually died in the fight, and I think without Chongyun I wouldn't have been to save the Luke and Utao. I didn't even try using her in the fight, because I feel like it's immune to fire damage, and I feel like the damage, physical damage from Diluc would have been better than the spear damage of Utao. And then for the last Hypostasis, the Hydro one, kinda went easy. We had Zhongli, we had Noel, we had Kiki, Chongyun. So even if it was slow, we still had Zhongli damage with this boss, so it kinda went well. And we lost no one in this fight, obviously, and the only problem I had is that I feel like boss, I end up having a lot of bosses with really weak team without DPS, and you'll see after for the next bosses that it's even worse. Yet again, a boss with only 4 supports, no DPS. Yeah, that's why we random wheel, I feel like was a great choice because it makes the challenge way harder, and you'll see that it's not. Signora is the last hard boss in my opinion, but it's not even the boss I spent the most time on trying to beat it. There is a boss that I was really unlucky on the team composition. Can we take note that every time there is Noel, I feel like there has been Zhongli. Is it just me? Like these two have been together almost every time. That's kind of weird. And for the Signora, let's just say that the boss was actually kinda hard because the damage he inflicts goes through shield, so Zhongli and Noel was kinda useless at the time. Because the fire damage and the freeze damage were really hard to contain because I was doing so little damage that every time around the end of the fight, all 4 little token or whatever you call them to heal the elemental damage were gone, and at the end I always end up being rushed by the boss because it would be really rushed against my S-bar because Diana's heal isn't that great, and so since the shield were not enough to stop the elemental damage, I had to rush the boss as much as I could, but with only Zhongli burst being able to do great damage, it was really hard actually. But we still managed to go with no casualty. And then here comes probably the most annoying fight I've ever had, and probably the longest as well in Genshin, or even in any game, like I feel. Noel, Baba, Chichi, and Hater, 3 supporters, 1 character that's basically isn't build, against a really tanky boss. Well, actually, I don't know if the Magukanki is really tanky, just that you can see no damage. Baba probably did most of the damage in the fight. And yeah, the boss I ended up being weirder because of that. I had to dodge a lot of things, and I ended up, despite having 3 healer technically in the system, I still ended up dying on many of my units. It died, and Noel also died. Reason being that even if I can heal, I can't stop one-shots, and so that's all, my character died. At the end I finally managed to kill this goddamn boss. It took me 15 minutes of trying to kill this boss. Honestly, I'd never want to do it again. But anyway, there is only 2 last boss, so let's go. After that I feel like the 2 last boss should be no problem. We've had a lot of weak units dying, so now we pretty much have only good units left. And so the Thunder Manifestation boss were kinda easy, outside of the fact that I almost killed Zuto at some point, but the fight went well. And to finish, what more fitting for this Nuzlocke than to finish on a boss that, first off, I didn't fight ever before. You can see, I even had the pop-up for the tutorial of it. And what's more is that I ended up having with a team of 4 DPS, 4 healer I mean. Yeah, so Jin, Baba, Xingqiu, Qixi. At least I knew that the fight would have been somewhat easy because, I mean, it's a wolf, so I knew that it was probably something that would inflict the injury debuff or whatever. But it was still kinda annoying because I didn't have any Geos to stop him from doing his shield stuff, like, and it was really long to kill all those 3 little heads. But I still managed to only having him put his shield once and killed him quickly. So yeah, we end up in last fight with this boss, quite easy. There it is, I've managed to kill all 21 boss of Genshin. So we had some kind of hard time with some of them, especially the Inazuma boss Raiden was hard. Even though I had my own team using Magic, it was still a hard boss to fight. On Sidiora, the Fire Hypostasis, on Guki was still really hard, and we had this unfortunate time with the Geo Hypostasis as well in Liwe, but outside of that, the other boss weren't that hard. But in my opinion, I feel like I was still lucky against some fight like Asda or Shilde would have been really hard with some other team. But every time I've managed to have a great team for the right boss, outside of the 4 I mentioned previously. But yeah. So in conclusion, out of the 23 characters I had to start the game with, I only lost 9, which is a pretty good number, not gonna lie. Only losing 9 when I have 23, and most of them are units that aren't well built or 4-star, you can see. But I feel like I need to build all the units I have, because the more units I'll have, the harder it will be to have them, more of them survive in terms of percentage, because it will be harder. The will to get units that fits well into a boss fight, for example that Leo Cube fight where it was hard because I didn't get any character with Great Sword or Leo, and the Mango Kenki was very hard because it was only support. So yeah, having more units will mean more fight like this. So it will take me some time before I redo something like that, because I'm just raising the unit and I don't really play Genshin that often actually. But yeah, if you want to see more of this, consider subscribing or leaving a like, and that was it for this Genshin Nuzlocke. Peace!
Girl, I sold. We never took another, saw me cold.